I didn't mark it. Was this last night? Jeez, oh boy. Wait. Battle Lounge is really good. If you check your last loss versus him. Oh, I see. This guy? Dobby? You've been putting in a lot of work in Lounge. It's noticeable. Noticeable. Especially, most noticeable for sure is your handling of the mirror match. I'm not joking. When I sit down against Jiminy Boy now, I almost prefer to choose. A different character in the mirror match, which nobody makes me feel like that. But Jiminy Boy not only knows my Akuma inside and out, but recently he's been making some leaps. He's been cheating, is what he's been doing. He's been cheating by playing other Akumas. Do I have this CPT bullshit on, really? What the hell? This stuff turned back on by default? Okay. Really quick, I'm gonna inject the frame trapped, which I should have done first, honestly. I don't know if it freaks out if I do it halfway through. I just like having frame trapped on. Whenever the weird stuff happens on the stream, in the replays, it's nice to be able to see exactly, okay, why did that happen, if it's unusual. B-Trigger one better versus Lucia? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Obviously, the start of the round, the red fireball, super negative. So we get that instant punch in the face. But he doesn't do the full combo. The full combo would basically put you in the corner. So he gives that massive damage, acting a little wild. But these are things that you already know. I'm not going to stay too long on why, you shouldn't wake up Light Punch DP. But if you're new, guys, Light Punch DP covers one option only. Technically speaking, on paper, it should only cover one option, and that is a throw. It's throw invincible. So there is possibility, though, to beat poor meaties or meaty attacks that are aimed to be active on the first frame, that the Light Punch DP is. Light Punch DP will take priority, so it will be no trade. But these things are less common, and therefore makes the Light Punch DP wake up super vulnerable at high level. So Jiminy Boy, remember guys, this is a battle lounge, so there's less stress to perform. Jiminy Boy's not sitting there like, I can't screw up, every pixel must be perfect sort of thing. This is more of they're exploring the matchup. Like the closing the distance, checking them low on the movement, good. Pop, pop. He says, get off me. You know what? That's something I've been noticing in my own gameplay, Jiminy Boy, right here. You know, standing fierce? Sometimes, like, sticking out these massive buttons, I don't realize how nasty they are until, like, this one obviously is super late, and you wanted probably, I'm gonna assume, maybe a back fierce. I'm gonna assume you want a back fierce, and it was just screwed up. But for whatever reason, it just reminded me of my own gameplay earlier. I was whiffing, like, this massive button. If they jumped, I almost had nothing to say or do about it. Something to keep in mind. After the throw tech, going for the sweep, definitely not a great habit. So a lot of empty jumps. Empty jumps can be a little bit frustrating, right? So we have like the sequence of empty jump tries to throw, empty jump throws again, empty jump throws again. You can meet him in the air if you want, air to air. You can obviously late autocorrect DP. These are things that you would just kind of warm up to as you're going along with. And it finally tries you on the meaty attack. Jiminy Boy wakes up with good patience here. Doesn't go straight for the V-skill palm. Doesn't even go directly after blocking this strong from Lucia. Instead, waits another little moment and then pops it. And the reason why he's able to pop it kind of like this more safely is because of the V-trigger activate. So obviously we'd probably want to try to get the side switch. Jiminy Boy kind of lands funny at the range. The forward dash, slight walk forward would have done it better. Alternatively, could have just done like Tatsu to the other side, but this works too. This Lucia is proving that they really like their wake-up options. What a strange fireball, huh? So she comes right down inside of it, and then yeah, anti-air.
That was a tough fight.
Round 2. Fight.
Did I check the correct one? Oh wait, you played V Trigger 1? Man, Jiminy Boy, I read almost every message, and then I saw that one. I think V Trigger 1 is better versus Lucia. Yeah, we can abandon this one. If this one's the crappy one, I'd rather look at the one where you are... Damn it. Take 2, guys. Take 2. Take 2. We're just getting started here. Give me a moment.
Favorite fighter profile.
I just need like a friggin' hotkey that can just go straight to your name way down here. It's getting ridiculous. Nope, I must went by you. You're somewhere there. All right, let's try that one more time. V Trigger 1 set. Okay. Versus same player. So that's the... Oh, I see. You guys are all in the same lounge. I see. Okay, that was your last set. About to sleep after it. So where does the V Trigger 1 set begin, I guess? Somewhere up here. So it's kind of like body. And they finally, the first loss. This looks like the first one. V Trigger 1. Let me know if I'm hopping into the wrong one. Okay. Obviously, a little bit of either a skill difference or, God damn it, I gotta shut that off. Or a,
Round 1.
or otherwise.
Fight.
Jiminy Boy, a little bit more developed, obviously, with this character. Now, at the beginning of a round, this is not something that's going to be for long, but you are seeing it quite often, where they are doing the crouching light kick. After hit, though, even after hit, Jiminy Boy forward dashes, right? And even after the hit, right here, Jiminy Boy can still press like crouching light punch if he wants to. Definitely standing light punch, right? So it's still negative. So you can do like if Lucia dives on you or slides on you rather, and it's pretty deep like this, what I would suggest everybody do is a standing light punch, and see, that'll give you 2 light attacks to kind of judge, okay, is this normal connecting, right? And if it is, then you obviously would go for the medium kitatsu. So you do jab, medium kitatsu, but give yourself a 2 light attack window. The V-skill absorb on the anti-air only works if you actually pop the launcher, which Jiminy Boy already knows, but worth pointing out. Right here, you'll actually notice it's pretty much neutral otherwise, and sometimes could be worse than that for Akuma. So you'd be a little bit careful. So when Lucia lands and you do crouching medium punch, it's essentially a 6 frame trap because you're not active until then. So doing a little bit of an interruption, and then tries the cheeky little crouching heavy kick. And the Lucia times their reversal well. So letting Jiminy Boy know, okay, you gotta be careful. You have to be careful on the wake up jab. So after the first conversion, goes for the light fireball, and then we're gonna see that Tatsu. Okay, now right here, I'm torn on how I want to approach this, right? Because there's a few different ideas, right? Do you face it early? Do you go over? Probably it's going to be a mixture of a few different ones, right? But notice,
I did it,
Victor, sub height. Thank you for the sub, buddy. There's a few different things here to worry about. We got the fireball. Okay, so the fireball, of course, is that orange that eventually turns into a small little rectangle, right? It's not the yellow around it. It's just the orange, the inside of the yellow. Okay, and then you have this hit is why I back this up, okay? These 2 boxes combine. There's so much going on right here. These 2 boxes combine, okay? And if those combine, that's going to launch it. So that's why it goes then forward. But notice how high the fireball is after it is launched. like Jiminy Boy just kind of barely escapes it, but it's a very high fireball. So don't think like you see that fireball and you're gonna be able to tatsu through it, because that's just not gonna be the case. You will not be able to tatsu through that fireball. So I'm kind of still theory crafting on how I feel the best way to go about it is, because like right here, technically speaking, Jiminy Boy is unsafe. A stronger Lucia is gonna DP. So Jiminy Boy could just jump 8 frames earlier or 9 frames earlier, more ideal. But thankfully, the Lucia did not try for it. So it does connect on the crouching medium punch. But one thing about doing the standing light punch, you did, let's see. Jump fierce, light, slight walk forward, standing light punch, crouching strong. When the crouching strong connects like that, it can be a little bit annoying because you don't know as she gets pushed back if standing medium kick's truly going to reach right here. And in my experience, it actually doesn't. In my experience, it actually is blocked, which is annoying as hell. So Jiminy Boy is kind of correct in not really going for much. You'd have to single hit confirm from the crouching medium punch. That's a little bit annoying. The options, if you have the single hit into the, and you know that she's standing, it's double impressive. Of course, you go for light kick tatsu and a heavy kick tatsu, and if you don't want to bother with the stand confirm off the single hit confirm, then you just go for the medium kick tatsu. Thank you for the follow. You have a sub hype emo. I gotta build one of those. Welcome to the channel, man. So Jiminy Boy, I think welcome back. Do you have some thoughts on the? Oh, did you make me a cup of tea? Yummy. Thank you. Here, do you want your cup back?
Okay.
Oh, thanks, bud. All right, so right here, Jiminy Boy, on your jump-ins, I'm just trying to think about how can we maximize your offensive potential. Right here, obviously, we're interrupting. You can see that you're interrupting your fireball. You probably would want to go for the jab just to ensure they connect because the fireball was done. Can you leave that on for me? Thanks. Because the fireball is being interrupted, so you probably, you can get that jump short into the strong, crouching strong, but it has to be quite deep. We kind of hit her on the head. So that's why it doesn't quite connect. What you usually see is if a jump short is going to hit deep, where does it typically hit deep? It hits deep on like the cross up side. So sometimes I'll do jump short and a deep cross up crouch medium punch. Typically speaking though, I think jump short, light punch, medium kick tatsu if they're crouching. And light kick tatsu if they're standing. It's a great emote. It is a great emote. It's a wonderful emote. Just out of range. So with punish opportunity right here, a few different options. Most of them low. So yeah, obviously crouching medium kick tatsu would work for you here. A little bit freaky of a range, so after she gets pushed back. Either way, that's a whiff punish opportunity. So you're starting to find the range. A little bit of a risk, obviously, just ripping out medium kick tatsu, but we didn't know that after the forward fierce whiff. And then jumping up too much now. Now, Jiminy Boy, this is where I kind of want you to really, this is going to be something I actually put on your folder for sure, because we were talking about this before. This is a great opportunity for you to start using this V reversal option select, the jump fierce, crouch fierce, V skill. So you're crouching fierce right here that you actually did press, but it didn't come out because it was pressed in the wrong timing, I think. Or it was just eaten and then nothing because you went into a block, one of the two. That would have been a parry for a full kill. Meterless even. Well, no, with meter, it would have been a parry full kill. So just jump fierce, crouch fierce, V skill behind it. I would really, really, really like you to get that underway in your game plan because it's just such a simple option select. So I'm gonna add that in real quick on your chart, in your folder here. Jump, heavy punch, crouch, heavy punch. V skill. Option selecting for the reversal on your jump-ins. You know whose emote that is? Godly Cookie Man. Do I look like I know whose emote that is? No, definitely not. Second hit activation. Ooh. So respecting the EXTP, and rightfully so, this person's been kind of liberal with him so far, right? But that opens you up low sometimes. Crouching light punch, I think, was obviously intentional. And then you try to walk back. And we get tagged low. It's a classic. So that shows whoever Dobby is, they understand a pretty good meta right there. That's a solid sequence too. Catch you low, you get struck, and then what do? You turtle up and get tick thrown. Better options from you is, you know,
That was a tough fight.
if you're gonna try to shimmy, you do actually have to worry. That's why you'll see Taquito walk back. Taquito in the corner, he'll walk back to the just outside of his opponent's throw range, and then he'll crouch block and then go for crouching medium kick as the delayed meaty. And just the reason for that being is kind of like covering so many options, you know, and also going for the counter hit confirm off the crouching medium kick to go for standing medium kick. Definitely medium punch CP there, or back fierce. Going a little crazy with the B skill. Not a crush counter on that, just so you know. It's the run. Kind of looks like it should be a crush counter, but the throw loops that aren't real. One thing you never want to do after these fake little sequences, right? So, right here, you've got 7 frames. And you're walking forward. Right here, it's reset. Okay? And it takes how many frames after she's pressed throw? She hasn't even pressed it yet. So we wake up defensively. I say you see her walk forward like that, I'm going to wake up jab pretty much every time. Alternatively, you can wake up crouching light punch, obviously sacrificing 1 frame, but you're gaining what you lose in a frame, you gain in distance, right? Because your crouching light punch reaches further than your standing light punch. So waking up crouching light punch, crouching medium kick would be the string, right? Because you want to check them low, and you're also giving that 4-frame frame trap, which is kind of nice in that situation. And if crouching light punch does hit, counter hit, which in this case it most likely would have, then it's just going to naturally combo. And then we just kind of crack to the pressure, which really you didn't have that much going badly for you. If you really look at, I mean, now you're not in a great position, but you still have a ton of meter. So just kind of flip the coin.
Lucia wins.
I'd like to see more ground game. A lot of jump ins there. I can see you're kind of like experimenting with different jump ins, experimenting with trying to dance around some of her more notable stuff like crouching medium kick. Oh, it's Jimmy's. Is it really Jimmy's? MDZ Jimmy's? He has so many. My man has been partner for forever. Did you have another one on there, Jiminy Boy, at all that you thought was worth looking at? You can see you guys ran 1,000,000 matches, so it's not like you guys are like playing, you know, as if everything mattered to the T. Ranked Lucille lost. Let me see if I can't find one. Or another character ranked. Don't see Lucia so far now. Who are all these other Akumas creeping up on us now? Venom, Spider? Tell that guy to back down. Who are these people? Back off. Uh-oh. The run back. Where'd you guys... Ah, you were the Lucia? Uh-oh. All right. You pick it. You pick it, man. I'd rather you pick than me pick a random one. God, let me shut that off. I'm all for the Pro Tour, but I don't need to be reminded every time I restart Street Fighter.
Fight.
Ashiro. All right, Jiminy Boy, final sub replay analysis. Then we'll move on to either another sub replay analysis or We will go to the CPT breakdown. Did I already go by you? Damn it. I gotta restart this shit because I hit some random button. Where are you? You're somewhere near my Sagat account there. God forbid I screw that up again. What's up, Native Wolf? Been a moment. Has it? Yeah, it has. All right, so, wow. ADHD's killing me. The jury lost us. I feel no pain. 87. First off, highly unlikely that this person doesn't feel any pain. Unless it's a medical condition, in which case very impressive that they're able to make it to nearly super diamond with jury. Jury versus Akuma is, first off, Jiminy Boy using different costume. I just realized the nostalgic one. No more starch scarf. Jury versus Akuma. Interesting little matchup. I usually play it pretty conservatively. She has decent buttons in the neutral. I don't ever feel super threatened in this matchup. I just don't. But right away, Jury needs to build charge, right? So Jury's got that natural. She has 3 different charge spaces. So typically, well, 4 if you count her V skill. Typically, what you're going to find is Jury sacrifices the stage, and as a result, I'll chase her down. If she backdashes, then, well, by all means, I'm more than happy to follow you to the corner, right? Because she starts to naturally corner herself. You want it, so right here, instead of going for like the fireball and then the red, especially the red fireball, you want to be careful on that. Let's ditch those because I think the stage is more important than the meter at this point. If she's going to try to charge at you, we don't want her to have her V skill charge because she's going to be able to first off backdash out of it, and then have better options, especially versus your air fireball. So right away, great position. Fantastic position. This is one of those ones that you know you're 5 seconds into the first round of the first game, and your opponent has cornered themselves. They understand they've made a mistake. So I'm looking for the escape. It's right there. That V skill, empty V skill palms, unprompted, very first round. Snip that in the butt. Think about empty V skill palm. So unprompted. I'm just adding this to your file real quick. Unprompted V skill palm. You're attempting a counter that is not there. But what's more important than just saying that is to really recognize the fact. I've been great, man. How you been? Then really recognize the fact that, okay, lead into the sequence. Crouch medium kick fireball. Standing strong. A light red fireball. Good. But right here, okay, standing medium kick. So that would be our whip. Wow. Look at that normal in that hitbox. Can we just take a moment real quick to appreciate Capcom? Look at Jury's foot, where it is. And look at where she's actually hitting and how vulnerable she is. And then it finally, I know it's a 2-hit hitbox, but that first one is hilarious. So anyway, we blocked that, right? Jury's +4. No way. No, -4. I'm reading it from the wrong side. -4. I was going to say that's insane. And then this is oftentimes what I'm seeing, Jiminy Boy, is that, and that's the worry rate there, is that we're going 30+ frames just doing this, right? But that's a lot of frames we could have spent kind of, if you miss your chance to whiff punish, I'd prefer you to use the opportunity to move around, better position yourself, whatever, rather than hope, right? So that's the first hope that we put in right there. And if this opponent misses this whip punish, that's kind of on them. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. That's already in your stuff that we were talking about before. Because look at it. Oh, what that just gave them. 2 charges plus out of the corner. And a bit of meter. Reversal sweep, very dangerous. It works out. And maybe contagious as well, because they went for it as well. Standing medium kick just a little bit too far for the punish. Actually, a lot too far for the punish there. You have to go for your crouching heavy kick. Good anti-air. I would just demon flip, honestly. It's fun if you get the juggle, but when it doesn't work. So we're whiffing normals too far. So like right here, you can see you're way out of range. Because, you know, this is kind of strange first off, this encounter. But look at the crouch medium kick. And how far away we truly are. Woof. Too far. You're sharper than that. So we gotta tighten up a little bit on the movement, which means whiffing less, being a little bit more fluid. And then if that, you need to be able to know if your crouch medium kick whiffs, then chances are, you know, that standing fierce is gonna whiff, especially if you see your crouch medium kick whiff by as much as it did. So we just whiffed 2 massive buttons. Thankfully, the jury player didn't do anything about it, but then they backdash and get rid of their low charge, right? So the fireball, that's forward fierce is not a button I reach for often. Now the medium kick tout's obviously lucky because it's one of those things that there's just no real reason to other than hoping that they push forward. Reaching for the unsafe buttons way too much. That's sweet. It's almost uncharacteristic of you. Got lucky on the standing fierce second hit as well. And then yeah, I want to see more corner control, like less standing fierce, more crouch medium punch. You know, more of your things that have continuations that leave you plus. I know that you're worried. You're clearly concerned about buttons in the neutral between somewhere between this range. You're clearly concerned about what jury's options are because we're seeing like you crouch block out here, which I know you're worried about the lows and whatnot, but the low, yeah, who cares? Let's put pressure on her. And then you can see like a lot of just missed sort of buttons, right? So I think just a lot too stiff, honestly. And putting a little is setting the bar way too low. We're way too stiff. Let's loosen up, move about a little bit more freely, and try to, I don't know if you shadow box, so to speak, in the lab, Jiminy Boy, but I would highly suggest it. Just set the dummy to guard all and just practice random block strings, just range checking. You see me do it all the time on stream. I'm constantly trying to find interesting ways to push myself out on block, to find max range buttons, and so on and so forth. I think it really helps with these kind of situations where we are whiffing massive buttons. Now this confirm, I can see me doing this all day long. I think every Akuma has done this at least once. Where you're like, oh, okay, they're in the air. But you can humanly react to that, so we got to work on that, make sure we don't put ourselves in the corner. This right here, you have an opportunity to medium punch DP if you want, or even parry it. Medium punch DP right there. We should have probably got that one pretty easily because it was, you see the fact that she's, whoop, reset you, and then jumped. So getting a little cheeky with it, right? But medium punch DP, while tight, was there for you. They connect after the, what did they hit you on? You were jabbing? Looks like it. Okay, so now we're reaching for the patience. And then, unfortunate wake up. So yeah, we never wake up with V trigger by itself because it's just adding a bunch of frames on recovery.
Round 2. Fight.
Yeah, Karuto, I have for my Vulix. That's what I use, is his conversion kit for the Vulix. Woo! Well, all right, Jimmy boy. Okay. You already know how I feel about that. Okay, the forward fierce finally pays off. Take her to the corner. There we go. I probably would have still done the forward dash, back fierce, medium kick Tatsu, medium demon flip rather. Doesn't really matter. That right there, Jiminy Boy, is where I'd probably, I would be reversal that, honestly. Be reversal this because I don't want her out of the corner, and I think trading one of your bars for V reversal and keeping her in the corner with the stun that she has is so much more important. So a counter-offensive V reversal is so handy at the right spot, right? Imagine if you V reversal right here, she's knocked down right in front of you. Yeah, this is a fantastic time to V reversal if you're going to. I personally think it's a mistake to not V reversal right here, considering she's only -2 at the end of all that, and now suddenly we're in the corner and eating some damage. Good overall, but make sure we're landing close. Standing medium kick a second time typically is good there on the trade. Oh yeah, it's super easy to install. I mean, with my Vlogs, it was a matter of a few screws. It depends on what fight stick it is, but it's that guy prides himself on basically, I mean, plug and play mods. Nobody does it better than he does. Nobody. All right, so we got her to the corner again. It's like we have a good positioning, but somehow we're losing it. It's like we're struggling a little bit more than we should be. First off, one of the main problems is we're reaching with those longer buttons that take longer to recover, and we're inaccurate with them. So we already talked about that. And then what we also said was the jumps. Now, when you combine those two things, it starts to get a bit nasty. So we get the conversion. She did at least have to spend meter on it. I'm looking for variation. Your wake up, back rise that time, good. Forward fierce, going for it too much. I'd rather you check her low with crouch medium kick, look for the single hit confirm and the medium kick tatsu. Because as soon as you did the forward fierce and that was blocked, then it's her turn to now press buttons, and suddenly we're back to here again. Jumping in a lot now. And jumping in again. So I think less is more still is the idea here. Yeah, with that like palm, for instance. So many buttons happening rather than just taking a moment and just standing still and saying, okay, what do they do, right? Well, what is it that they're doing? We can see what you're trying to do, but what is it that they're doing so we can try to counter with it? Getting a little bit too hopeful now with the meter. Perhaps another chance if you were going to be reversal, but I don't blame you for having the 3 bars already on deck. Getting rid of them seems kind of difficult. See, an activation, as I say, I'm almost positive. Works out for you, sort of. And then they were inspired. Okay, so more accurate, less standing fierce, forward fierce, jump fireball. I know that wasn't prevalent, super prevalent, but worth mentioning less. Definitely less. V-skill palm, already put that down. Let me alt tab out here real quick. What else do we get down on there? What's up, everybody? So yeah, I added the jump fierce, crouch fierce, V-skill thing for things to focus on option, and then add a little note for you. So the option selected for the V reversal on your jump-ins. Recognize when your opponent is in a bad spot. The burden is on them to improve it. Counter offense. This is something that was from the last one, but I think it's worth leaving in because several times you had Jury in a bad spot, right in the corner on the player one side, and then kind of not really overextending, but just pressing massive buttons, like, and then kind of missing. So accuracy is obviously an important trait, but the number of times we're pressing standing fierce at any given time, I think, is concerning. Obviously, the V-skill, medium tatsus, all those things. You already know I have a very strong opinion against those, but this is an older replay that we're looking at as well. And then I would like to see, personally, you sacrifice your meaties every once in a while to delayed attacks. Delayed light attack setups. Manual ones most easily implemented. I'm gonna need to take a look at this file and eventually. Native Wolf, thanks for the host, bud. Okay, let's see. Medium Tatsu is pretty rare, but still kind of there. Dashing at the start of the round, not so much through Fireball at the start of the round, for the most part. Too often waking up with Light Punch DP, if you trigger 2 activate, it's obviously not the case in this one. I want to leave that in there just for a little bit longer until I make sure it's eradicated. Take it to the air far too often, air fireball jumping, EX, demon flip. And the only thing I want to add on to that list is I'll count forward heavy punch. Basically just giving up your turn. And then yeah, we did see a lot of EX demon flips that were kind of questionable. I think you and I are both guilty. A lot of Akumas online are guilty of the classic EX demon flip when sometimes it just seems like you can just throw it out there and you're like, well, it's a bar. And yeah, it's, maybe it will work. And if it does work, holy hell, does it pay off? It's kind of the same idea with Forward Fierce, but at the same time, when you're spending a bar to give up your turn. Jiminy Boy, I want you to really just flat, make short of the long to just focus on your fluid neutral gameplay. More accurate medium buttons, less of the heavy stuff. The heavy stuff I think should come later. So standing fierce and stuff, that should be drawn out. Ah, there's a ladybug on my wall. Gross. The standing fierce and whatnot, that should be kind of something that's drawn out when we're looking for something. I'd also like to see you play long sets where you focus on like one goal of whiff punishing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you do this often. I know when you and I usually play, you set it to first to 3 or something, and I always complain saying, nah. But the reason why I complain personally on a short set is, first off, I want the ability to adapt. The second off, I want to focus on one real. If you're in a battle lounge, focus on something that you can refine, something you can sharpen. So if it's going to be your buttons, if it's going to be your anti-airs have been looking real sharp. I mean, really sharp. I noted this last time. Your back fierce is sharp, way sharper than mine. So, and then, you know, on the topic of back fierce, maybe I know the red fireball is fun, but consistency might be more important. Like if you were in tournament, I'd prefer, and you weren't sure about trying to get the red fireball juggle or this or that, I prefer you just do the demon flip. You know, medium kick demon flip if you're too close to the corner, and heavy if you're not, so you don't get the side switch. If that makes sense. Anything else on that one, buddy? Jeet Kunu, I just said your name terribly wrong. Thank you, buddy. And I look forward to your sub, man, in the future. I would love to break down your stuff. Be more than happy to. But yeah, man, I think I'm glad to see you. I'm relieved. Glad is not the correct word. I am relieved. Nishiro, okay, but not as an analysis. Okay, we're just gonna watch this one because I think people want me to get to the they want me to get to some kind of CPT stuff. Unless there's another sub in the chat. Nishiro. He was down here or something. There he is. Final game. Middle one got me. I'm gonna alt tab out just for a second so I can get the chat back in the right spot. Doing sub analysis, we are, my man. Except for this one, we're just gonna be kind of watching this one and commenting. Don't we forget to shut that freaking stuff off right there. It drives me nuts.
Round 1. Fight.
Karuto, you'll get it automatically with the next sub analysis. If you haven't already, man. It's a new feature we're doing for all subs. It helps me chart everybody's progress a lot better. A lot better. Back fierce, yeah. The only reason I say right there is I kind of want you to stay nice and close to him. I mean, you could cancel if you want, you know that. But I kind of prefer you to stay close. I think it's more important. He makes a mistake on going to on the V trigger there. We could have punished it, but either way, on the right here. So rather you stay close with him and then bait out the V reversal. When you activate, you're good for the most part. I don't want to tap through all these freaking frames, but I think we're gonna have to. Blah 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 blah. Maybe you're not. No, I think you are good. Yeah, you're +1, but it's weird. The reason why he's so quickly is able to rip you out of the sky because, well, what does Akuma want to do other than throw an air fireball with V trigger 1 active? And Nash is not gonna have any time dealing with it, right? Because you got to think about it from Nash's perspective, especially. The longer that fireball the closer that fireball gets to the ground, the more difficult it gets to deal with. You do not want to be on. You don't want to block that thing low. You know, you want to take care of it as soon as possible. If you have an air throw, you're going to be training yourself as a Nash player. Okay, when Akuma has V trigger 1 active and they even start to leave the ground, I'm jumping at them and throwing them. So you want to think about it from your opponent's perspective, and certainly right here, they show us their answer to it. And again, we talk about accurate buttons. I see the jump medium kick, but it's too deep. We'd have to maybe jump short. You need to walk back a little bit more regardless. Yeah, too deep and just a bit though. Walk back a little bit more. Or stay same side. Solid confirm.
It can't be over.
Guys, also there's a new command to queue up for sub replay analysis, so we can keep a nice orderly thing about it. I don't know if Jiminy Boy wants to. Jiminy Boy, you remember in the chat how to do that? I like spending the bar the way you did right there. I like the way you spent the bar. That or the EX Red Fireball probably is the only better continuation from that. Instead of going for the EX Fireball. That's a little bit better, but I'm glad that you spent it early. Okay, there we go. Looking a lot cleaner. CFN name or so yeah, so that's the queue to open up the queue. Thanks, TDM. So it's watch me and then put your CFN in. Also replay ID if you have one. Whoop. We have been switching to replay IDs, just noticing that's a little bit faster.
I suggest you stay down.
Final round. Fight.
How'd you like to stand fierce? Z's nuts. How do you like that friggin' Chun-Li to stand fierce? That doesn't make you question everything you've ever known in life about footsies. Proper. Right there. Let Nash know. Something about Nash's throat still bugs me to this day. Medium punch TP. Side switch, making me real proud. Second hit, cancel, forward dash. Every Akuma player in the room listening to my voice right now, stop what you're doing, stare at the damn screen. If you have V-Trigger and you activate, and you want to activate, and you need a side switch, and if that sounds way too specific, let me tell you what, it's not. This is the most proper thing to do. Watch what Jiminy Boy does. Jiminy Boy showed me this. My son is playing it. Oh, we're getting a hair wash tonight, I can tell. Second hit. Let me do this proper. Okay, side switch. Second hit, fierce DP. V-trigger 1 cancel. Forward dash, light DP. So it is like stand medium kick V-skill launcher, light kick Tatsu, fierce DP, second hit, V-trigger cancel, forward dash, light V-trigger DP. Just like that. Show you one more time. Okay, ready? This is as proper and clean as it gets right here. Boom. Second hit on the fierce, light. You will not get it otherwise. And you need to mash the hell out of that forward dash. But look at the potential. Look at the setup potential right here. It's fantastic. I might have to help out real quick. What's going on, boy? Real quick. You guys queue up for the next sub replay analysis. I'm real quick after this one finishes here. I'm going to leave the next match on from Jiminy Boys. Oh, proper. There we go. Much cleaner. Much cleaner. I'm going to throw up the next match real quick from Jiminy Boy. Then we're going to hop to the replay analysis. I'm just going to go help out in the home front real quick. I hear my little one throwing a little bit of a hissy fit. Let's see what the dad cannot do. So this next one is not replay analysis, just simply Jiminy Boy playing. And I'm going to kill my mic. One sec. Risia. In ranked? I'm looking for a Cammy player right here. 2 of them. All right. 2 of them. We'll have a look at the set. Cammy versus Akuma is fun. It's a fun little matchup in that if you hesitate as Akuma, you can find yourself in a horrible spot. Hesitation is absolutely not allowed. I got to shut off that freaking ad thing. Hesitation is absolutely not allowed in this matchup. What do I mean by that? It means right at the beginning, obviously we microstep forward, crouch block, look for your opponent's approach from the sky, see what they're going to do. Or you can kind of just feel it out in a similar way. We have to control 2 aspects about Cammy's gameplay. The first one, very obvious. Anti-air her. Okay? Anti-air Cammy. Pretty straightforward. The second one is the grotesquely overlooked one online, and that is to simply whiff punish Cammy when she does her drill to try to bait out some stuff. Okay, Cammy, if Cammy aims her air drill at you, it's obviously you're gonna anti-air it. Okay, if she purposefully does it early so that it whiffs, you need to start developing your whiff punish game on that so you can shut down both kind of styles. It helps you control the neutral a lot better. I've heard many online players around my level complain that it's a little bit annoying to whiff punish reliably, and that is true online. Offline, it's a little bit less so, but regardless, it hasn't stopped you from trying. So let's see how this plays out. We're going to turn on inputs right to start. Now, at the beginning of any match, a Cammy player throws out the classic slightly, quote-unquote, delayed V-skill. How should this be met? Well, there's a million different ways to meet it, but I will try to meet it with my own V-skill. So we're going to look to V-skill launch her. We absorb it, and we don't want to block it. Blocking it is a losing situation, but this is a wild, wild thing to throw out. So we just V-skill this. You can absorb it. You can also simply counter hit it as you do. You're going to be +6 here, of course. So standing crouching light punch or standing light punch if you want. Standing medium kick. Let's see how you continue. All right, so one drop combo right off the bat. I know it's a little bit of a scramble, and you're also kind of like not really sure, but we just got to tighten up the timing because the timing doesn't really change on the block string and the combo itself. So really, we should just have a crouching light punch, crouching medium punch, standing medium kick, light kick tatsu, heavy kick tatsu, and be well on our way with some damage, and then Oki follow up. So one drop, but it was a pretty major one. And another thing that you want to be a little bit careful about is the dash directly afterwards. If I see my opponent drop their combo, I'm much more likely to look for some kind of interruption because I know they want to extend it, right? So we had one drop right there, and then that forward dash you get away with, but it's important to remember that it was something we got away with. And then you went for a block string that I personally, I absolutely I hate it. I hate the block string. And it's not just you. It's a lot of Akumas doing this block string. That is crouching medium punch, crouching fierce punch. Now, crouching fierce punch, obviously, as you know, is 10 frames to start up. Your standing fierce punch is 8 frames to start up. And crouching fierce is good in some ways, and some very few ways. So I prefer that if you're going to do crouching medium punch, I personally would like to see crouching medium punch into crouching medium punch into standing strong, right? Let's set up some basic 3-frame frame traps into a 4-frame frame trap. See what Cammy's pressing. If we go right away, round 1, game 1, we're going for crouching medium punch on block straight into crouching fierce. That raises some alarms in my head because we're creating an 8-frame frame trap, right? Which can work, but I prefer something a bit tighter because it's bordering online. It's not even bordering. It is kind of like an online block string. It's not something you're going to see done at top level too often. So notice you get tagged out of it, and then the Cammy player makes the same mistake that you do. They don't have their correct timing. So if you are going to interrupt, this is something I'm going to put into your file. If you are going to interrupt, then we're going to make sure that your interruption is met by whatever the timing should be with the correct button. So in this case, remember when we interrupted the V skill, you did crouching and light punch into anything since it was counter, right? So you naturally just do a continuation regardless of whether or not it works. So you do crouching light punch, crouching medium punch, then medium kick, and then by there you should be able to tell, okay, that we're well into a combo or not, right? The Cammy player makes the same exact mistake. So just really quick on your file, all I'm putting down is well, I guess rule 1 and rule 2 here can be kind of interchanged. But rule 1, I'm saying when interrupting with a button, be sure to follow the 2 major rules. And really, that's just 2 ideas that you need to follow, right? So rule 2 is simply So if the first one is the interrupting button on counter hit naturally combos into the sequence. So that is if we do something like crouching light punch, in brackets, counter hit, right? Crouching medium punch, standing medium kick, light kick tatsu, head kick tatsu, right? And then as an alternative, it's probably way too small. I'll zoom in a little bit more for you guys. Yeah, as an alternative, you would do if it wasn't counter hit, and you can swap out. Obviously, this is on block, so we're block plus. Screw it. Let's do this first. Right, you should get to right here and go, oh, okay, so I didn't get what I wanted. Or perhaps crouching light punch, crouching medium punch isn't going to even allow for the standing beam kick, so you'd adjust for the pushback by this point. You should be able to know by these two normals, did I hit, did I not hit, right? You maybe would adjust this standing medium kick to a block string. So you do something like light red fireball. If this was max range, I would assume this would be only max range. And if that was too far, then you'd adjust your reversal buttons from crouching light punch, crouching medium punch, standing medium kick to crouching light punch, crouching medium punch, standing strong, because that's your next furthest region button. So take into consideration the timing, the counter hit. Basically, if you're going to interrupt, make sure it naturally combos, and then rule 2 is kind of more or less the same as the first. It's simply the interrupting. Learn how to spell, Sheldon. The interrupting sequence should act as a block string as well as a solid block string. So like a good 3-frame frame trap, something like that, as well as naturally as a combo. And again, look towards these two options I gave you. I'll just throw out some other random ones just for the hell of it. Some other good interruption block strings that I go for. So starting with standing light punch, I often will do standing light punch, standing medium kick. Let me actually what's a better way to put this? Reversal strings. Okay, so here we go. I'm just gonna belt them out. All right, standing light punch, standing medium kick, obvious one, right? Standing light punch, standing medium kick on standing light punch, counter hit. We have natural combo, standing medium kick. You can do whatever the hell you want from here. You know this, I know this. All right. You'd want to XX, anything you want. V skill launcher, for instance. You get demon flip, palm. That's just a fine example right there. I wonder if something else to add on that though. Let's see. Oop. On the so standing light punch, counter hit. Standing light punch isn't counter hit, but the standing medium kick is. This is something I want to point out. So what's the difference here? How should you react, right? If the standing light punch is blocked on your reversal string, okay, and then your second button is counter hit, you need to have a follow up for there. So we know standing light punch blocked, but then second standing medium kick is counter hit. Well, you simply go into another standing medium kick, wouldn't you? Because you're gonna be +5 again. So you go standing light punch, standing medium kick hits counter hit because that's a 3-frame frame trap on block. And then we would just simply continue. Typically at this range, depending on, I might go something like kick tatsu, heavy kick tatsu, meterless, make up your mind. But this is just to show you that what the importance of having reversal strings predetermined. This is a 3-frame frame trap, obviously standing light punch, crouching medium, standing medium kick rather. And then the importance of noticing, okay, did the standing light punch hit on counter hit, and then it naturally combos in the standing medium kick. We'll go into a different combo. If the standing medium kick hits on counter hit, you still need to be able to convert. So a plan always on reversal string, guys. I hope that's really kind of shining a light on that. And I'm not going to detail out as much as I did right here for the rest, but just to give you a better idea, these are point blank range again for reversals. Very common ones I go for. I think we basically listed this one up top here. You can pretty much substitute standing light punch with crouching light punch. The difference between standing light punch, crouching light punch, anybody off the top of your head? You should know this basically. Same on block, same on hit, but one is 1 frame faster. So standing light punch is your fastest reversal button, whereas your crouching light punch is 1 frame slower. However, has greater range. So not at point blank range. Crouching light punch, crouching medium kick. That pesky. Okay, good for further out reversals, or to check that pesky shimmy. Why is it a good sequence? Well, it's a 4 frame trap. Good. It meets that. Okay, for a reversal, it checks them low. That's a good option to have, right? If crouching light punch hits counter hit, it naturally goes into crouching medium kick. If crouching medium kick hits counter hit, what do you do? What do? You go standing medium kick. So you can see all of my block strings and all my reversal buttons, therefore, are combos. They're hit confirms in multiple places. They are smart frame traps based around your frame data. They're not just pressing buttons, and they're all timed so that you can react and implement them basically immediately. You know, this anytime, guys, you interrupt your opponent with your a button, you got away with murder, right? And to think if we can't take advantage of that, then we need to. That's a huge, massive drop. So I want you to really, really focus on that one thing leads to all that nonsense right there. Let's get back to the game. I'll try not to drag these out, but hopefully there'll be more of a lesson. Crouching medium punch sweeps these nuts. Oh my God, we're gonna have some work with you, huh? You used to, let me see, converting off of light interrupts is definitely a big weakness for you. Okay, so that's good that we were able to identify that and agree on it. Used to get crouching light punch with Ryu and follow with crouching medium kick, which isn't, rather than convert. Well, guess what, Kimtae? Guess what? Welcome to the Akuma brothers, the better side. The grass is greener on this side. I know what you mean with your crouching light punch, crouching medium kick, but you know, it's better with Ryu. Sometimes just to lock them down low, and then you have your fireball, interrupt, and whatnot. With Akuma, you don't have to just choose, oh, what's a good button to interrupt with. Akuma's block strings, they start with his best buttons to interrupt with. His best frame traps start with his best buttons to interrupt with. We play a character that really has it all, man. We are fortunate in that regard. So let's get back to it. Oh, I'm glad I just took a look here because I just started the replay. Okay, so we are, for context, right back at the beginning again. So we talked about the reversal timing there. That's what led me to go on that tangent, but a worthy one to go on, I think. A good point to point out. And then you see the Kami player drops the same exact thing now. As a Akuma player, you're going to want to probably keep yourself nice and low here still, because I want you to stay in place for 2 things. First off, she drops her reversal, right? But then look at the range, okay? So round 1, always all about data. It's how you take the most. It tells you a lot about your opponent. Okay, I'm focused more on data in round 1 than I don't give a damn if I win round 1. If I do, woohoo. If I don't, it does not faze me whatsoever, and it shouldn't faze you either, because we're just focused on data. So one data point we take right away, obviously, besides the start of the round that we saw, which was basically just a delayed V skill from Kami, is where does she like to jump? And this is going to be very important, especially versus Kami. So that's why I'd prefer you to sit down right here rather than move around at all, and kind of after she dropped her combo, how does she approach it? You dropped your combo, you forward dash, crouch, medium punch, crouching fierce. Crouching fierce was interrupted. She drops her combo, her interrupt combo. What does she do? Well, she jumps to the air, and you try to meet her there, which isn't great because it's better to knock her down. We need to knock her down. So I need you to stay grounded instead of medium punch DP. The jump medium kick, you can see no hope of this ever connecting. No hope at all. Way too far away. If anything was going to connect, it would need to be something. I can't reverse it any smaller than this. Damn you. It would need to be something, maybe jump light punch, maybe jump light kick, but way better to stay on the ground. So grounded medium punch DPs are really, really going to go a long way for you in this matchup. or medium DPs, I just call them from here on out. We get tagged. Notice also, because of the exchange, it might not seem like that big of a deal, but we do get tagged. So after blocking one, standing short from Cammy around max range, you know, that +1 in the center you see there, that's not for you, that's for her. So you're -1 here. You go for a light punch, crouching light punch. But she's going straight for a block string. So she gets standing short, that is +1. And your crouching light punch 4 frames to start up. You get counter hit. So this will be the first knockdown. I'm okay with you trying to interrupt here and there, but I am concerned that we are 6 seconds in, a little bit more than 6 seconds, right? And the 2 major encounters that we've had, both of them we've attempted to interrupt with the same button, okay? So if I'm taking data on my opponent, I'm taking data on what buttons are they pressing? How often are they pressing them? And in this case, every time so far, and the same button. So mindful. It's going to be something I look forward to seeing the rest of the in the rest of your replay. Also, how are we rising? In this case, it was back rise. So much more defense this time around, blocking pretty much out to the max extension, and then just like all good characters with good block strings, you can see